So recently I started using Unreal Engine alongside of Blender, and one of the things that I've realized about this software is that a lot of people are actually sleeping on this software. This is an incredibly powerful software, and the results that it can give you stand out like a sore thumb. Like, no joke, this software has the potential to be the best 3D software there is, and maybe potentially it's already is. So in this video, I'm gonna give you the reason why I think you should be using Unreal Engine and why I think this software has the potential to be the best 3D software in the future for virtual production, maybe for filmmaking, etc. So without any further ado, let's begin. So the very first reason I think Unreal Engine is really powerful, and I think people already know about this, is its speed. Now with Unreal Engine 5, what Epic Games did not make us clear was that even though Unreal Engine 5 was released with the intention of being able to make game development easier and faster, Unreal Engine 5 also added features that made Unreal Engine not just a game development software but also a good 3D program in general. Before Unreal Engine 5, yes, Unreal Engine still had potential, but it wasn't as good. But now with Unreal Engine 5, and especially with the introduction of Niagara system and Lumen render engine and chaos clots and chaos destruction, all of these things like real-time simulations, they really bring to the table the most powerful thing that Unreal Engine has to offer, and that is speed. Unreal Engine is incredibly powerful in terms of speed. Recently, Unreal Engine was used in the Star Wars and the Mandalorian, and we really saw the potential of this software being able to use in real time. Especially when we talk about Lumen render engine, you can literally use that render engine to visualize what you are making in real time, and you can even make your final render just as good in real time with Lumen engine, because the renders that Lumen engine creates are almost close to the path tracer. Obviously path tracer is better, but Lumen is still really close and it still produces really amazing results. Then Lumen engine gives us as good of a result as the path tracer. So I think speed is one of the biggest strong points as to why I think Unreal Engine is gonna dominate. Because let's be honest, as us 3D artists, being able to view your work in real time in almost the good quality as like the path tracer, it's gonna really help out because the final product is gonna be just as refined. And so yeah, the speed is probably the biggest strong point of Unreal Engine. Now, one of the things that makes Unreal Engine stand out a lot is that ever since Unreal Engine 5 has been released, I have noticed that they have been giving us frequent updates. First of all, the Unreal Engine is being updated almost like every 2 to 3 months, and this is extremely amazing because from the Unreal Engine 3 to the Unreal Engine 5, they actually increased speed of the Unreal Engine even more. Now you can actually work with even less VRAM and still get good results. And so Unreal Engine is actually optimizing the whole 3D workflow in a way that you can actually work with less and less VRAM. And in the world where most of the 3D programs or even most video games are requiring more and more VRAM, it's quite amazing that Unreal Engine is actually trying to make that VRAM consumption limited. And that's really powerful. And the reason why I'm saying this, I'm not just saying this out of nowhere. I am using a RTX 3060 laptop that just has 6GB VRAM, and I was able to make this chasm skull animation. And if I was to make this animation, this exact same one in Blender, bro, my PC would have been cooked. My laptop would have been cooked. I don't even have a PC at the moment. And so it's really something to see that Unreal Engine can handle really large sceneries and really complicated lighting sceneries very well. Especially just with Lumen render engine, you can just do the same thing. You can get the final result rendered out of Lumen render engine. You don't even have to go for path tracer. Yes, path tracer is better, but Lumen will still give you almost as close of a result. And that's really powerful. So the frequent updates that Unreal Engine provides is something that I have seen what is going to make Unreal Engine stand out. Because let's be honest here, especially those of you who use Maya, I think Maya has become little complacent in the recent years. There are not as many frequent updates, and I'm saying this because there are friends of mine who use Maya. And even in case of Blender, the updates are not as frequent. Whereas in case of Unreal Engine, the updates are not only frequent, but they actually bring quality of life improvements for us users, such as that VRAM consumption. So in the recent updates, the only thing that Unreal Engine focused on was how to limit VRAM consumption. And that was really good, because if you make the same project in Unreal Engine 5.3 and you make that same scenery in 5.5, it's much more likely that your scenery will run way smoother in 5.5. And so yeah, Unreal Engine is doing a really amazing job with that. Now another point that makes Unreal Engine really powerful is that it's free. But there's a catch. Unreal Engine is not completely free, and I think that is what makes it better than Blender as well. Because while Blender is completely free and you will never be charged by the official company of Blender ever, I think that is also the weak point of Blender. I mean, recently we already know that Blender was running short on funds, and I think Unreal Engine doesn't have that problem, because in case of Unreal Engine, if you make over a certain amount, then you have to pay them 5%, which I think when you obviously make a huge amount of money, I think giving 5% is well deserved for Unreal Engine. And so while Unreal Engine is free, I think they are managing their funds way more cleverly than, let's say, Blender. So yeah, Unreal Engine will not run out of funds, and that will be a good news, because for us 3D artists, we don't have to willingly give Unreal Engine every time we want to use the 3D software. Like, look at the software such as Maya, 3ds Max or Houdini. You have to pay like a heck ton of subscription fee just to be able to use them. And so yeah, I think Unreal Engine being free while also charging some amount that they definitely deserve is a really powerful strategy. And I think this is something that is going to help Unreal Engine in the future a lot. Now, compatibility is one of the biggest points and most underrated points of Unreal Engine. While it is actually hard to export things from other softwares to Unreal Engine, it's not impossible. And it's technically way more efficient than other 3D softwares. The Unreal Engine itself has a very intuitive interface in terms of how you want to export maybe a static mesh, maybe a skeletal mesh with animations, or an Alembic file, and all of these things are really easy to do in Unreal Engine. Now here's the thing, it's not like you will not struggle to export things in Unreal Engine. Like, one of the biggest issues with exporting in Unreal Engine is that the pivot point shifts a lot. But the thing is that even then, Unreal Engine is one of those softwares that is a lot more compatible with other 3D softwares, especially with Blender, let's say, because I am someone who uses Blender a lot. Unreal Engine can pretty much work in sync with Blender. Like, you can have both the softwares simultaneously open, and you can keep on updating your FBX file, and it will keep on updating the FBX file within the Blender, within the Unreal Engine as well. And if you want to see how to do that, I will link down a video in the description. It really shows how you can sync Blender with Unreal Engine. Not only this, but the reason that I think Unreal Engine is so good is because at its core, Unreal Engine is still a game development software. And if it wasn't as compatible or optimized, then you wouldn't be able to develop games on it, you know. So I think, yeah, this is one of the reasons why I think Unreal Engine is gonna be the best software in the future. People who especially use Blender, let's say you are tight on the budget and you cannot afford a paid software, I think combining Blender with Unreal Engine, and I've already made a video on why that is good, but if you really are serious about your 3D work and your art or whatever, I think learning Unreal Engine alongside of Blender or maybe other 3D softwares is really going to uplift your work to a next level. This is the reason why I think Unreal Engine is the best 3D software and potentially the best 3D software in the future. But yeah, with that said, I would like to conclude the video. I hope you have a nice day.